All right, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back,
Hello.
everyone. Hi,
Hi.
hi. As you can
Good
see, we
evening.
have we have Anjuli back with us tonight, and we're going to talk
Yay.
about Instagram. It's really a very important topic because I'm not sure about you guys, but we do realize that Instagram is actually definitely growing, and because of all these reels and all these new products that has been launched and introduced in the platform, in fact, I can see a lot more activities are happening in there as versus to Facebook. So in a way, we really need to kind of learn how to use Instagram to our benefit, and we have Anjali to share with us about influence mastery. This is not something that
Yes.
it's not just about selling or whatever. It's about building the influence around that thing. Okay. So I don't think we
Right.
need to introduce Anjali a little bit more, but since we are here anyway, just for the benefit of everyone else who is new to us, right? And new to Anjali as well. Maybe Anjali, we can just kickstart with a brief introduction about yourself. Maybe just share with us what do you do, yeah, the story a little bit.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, all of you guys, for giving me this opportunity to join you again.
It's an
And
honor.
to give you a brief introduction, I am a digital marketer and I'm passionate about learning digital and then teaching digital. And so what happened was, last year, I created this Facebook group where I got all the entrepreneurs and people I wanted to help to join in the Facebook group, and I sort of started sharing content there. Now, what happened is whenever I talked about Instagram, the group had the maximum interest. There were questions coming my way. People wanted to know a lot more things about how to crack it on Instagram. I said, look, the market is telling me something. There is interest around this topic. And then I took a deep dive and I said, okay, I'm going to help because my intention is to help. And then what I did was I asked five of those entrepreneurs, I said, five people, raise your hands, join me, and every weekend I'm going to go live with you and I'll teach you some concepts around Instagram, and let's apply those and see whether this thing works or not. And they joined me, and you won't believe it, Jason, for the next 13 Sundays consistently I went live with these five people. They kept coming back, and we covered the entire deep dive, right, of what
Wow.
really it takes to succeed and do it right on Instagram. And that was my validation, that fact that these five entrepreneurs, and they were like serious smart entrepreneurs running businesses, proper businesses, that they kept coming back for every weekend session with me, told me that, boss, this is good stuff, this needs to be taught. And then what I
Wow.
did was I just converted all of that live content, edited it, and then launched a course. and
Wow.
and
Hmm.
that yeah that's how I started this Instagram influence online course. I think just about last year that I started putting it on platforms like LMS platforms and make it completely online.
Right.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
that's my story. Yeah, that's my story of how I got started with taking interest in Instagram.
But why do you think people are interested in Instagram? I mean, from your perspective.
Yeah,
I mean, as
so there are a lot of Instagram. There are a lot of myths around it, right? So some of the myths that I came up with, that Instagram is not for me. I'm a B2B company, or it's like I can't be 24/7 on my phone. God, I have a business to run. These Instagrammers, they have to be on their mobiles all the time. And some people were like, whatever content I post, nobody's liking it, so there were so many questions and misconceptions about building a brand on Instagram that I felt I really needed to understand. And when I want to teach something, I have to come from a point of adding real value and giving proper advice to somebody, because I didn't want to mislead. So
that's
uh,
definitely, yeah.
yeah, so I think there are a lot of misconceptions around what it, some people think it's just a photo sharing app, just to look fancy, and the life on Instagram versus real life, and lots of things going around. But it's a fabulous platform. It's one of the platforms which has like more than, I think, a billion people using it, and 500 million business users, right? So 500
Wow.
million business people already using it. And if you look at the stats, are staggering. Like many people are actually taking their buy decisions, the purchase decisions, after they have checked out a brand on Instagram,
Wow.
right? So it makes a lot of business sense today to be on that platform. And amongst this, and reels is like growing like crazy, and reels
Yes.
is it's Instagram is putting all their efforts behind reels, because their major competitor today is TikTok, and TikTok is giving them a run for their money. It's like TikTok is a big threat to Instagram, right? And so their only answer to TikTok is today reels. And I think you must have heard of Adam Mosseri himself came on Instagram. Like, he is very active on Instagram, and he himself came and said that Instagram is no more just a photo sharing app. It is a short video platform. We are going to be focusing on videos. So it's becoming majorly video oriented, majorly business oriented, and majorly a monetization platform. And Instagram is making it worthwhile for creators to start earning from the platform, just like the way YouTube is doing, right? So that's
So
it's
the
a
earning
very
is already started. You mean
they're,
the
yeah, they're creating a lot of methods. Like, you can earn badges now, and people can give you badges, and then after a certain number of badges, people can start buying these badges with dollars. And of
wow,
course, influencers are already been there for some time now. Already been. It's a huge way for creators to earn money.
wow, that's
So it's happening. It's and one of the best things that I like, Jason, about Instagram, that it's a platform meant for creating engagement. You can't
mm,
get high engagement rates on any other platform as you can get on this platform, Instagram, because it's baked in the way the product is designed. You see, you go, and Instagram stories are the places where the maximum interaction happens, and they have so many, the stickers that they have created in the stories, like the poll sticker or the emoji stickers, like the sliders, and so many ways for you to directly connect with your target audience.
yeah.
And
I actually agree though because I do realize myself actually spend more time on Instagram nowadays.
yeah, it's a
You know,
wonderful
as
platform.
opposed to Facebook. You know, I mean, me being a Facebook advertiser sometimes is a bit dangerous to say that, but then again, I think, well, the time spent on Facebook is kind of like evolving, and there are more and more people going to Instagram. I think you're right about one thing, which is like because instead of checking out on Facebook when before I make some purchase decision, nowadays I do also check out Instagram because, well, it's more simple in a way. I find it more straightforward in terms of looking at things.
Yep.
And in fact, interaction, yes, I agree. I can actually see more things based on their stories and all that. You see, now even Facebook now is trying to mirror their success about stories and reels on Facebook as
On
well.
Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, but I think I don't know, man. What do you think, Anjali? Is this a good move or is this gonna gain traction? I'm not sure
I don't know.
because the stories is not so much. In my opinion, it has been around for a while on Facebook. I don't think I consume that.
Yeah, I think Facebook. It's like Facebook trying to be Instagram and failing at it. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's just not going to happen, right? So each platform has its unique, uh, you know, unique, what shall I say, user experience, and what it
yes,
brings to the table for the people who use that platform.
that's right.
And I think that's a mistake, that when they see something working, they want every platform to be like, then what's the difference, right? So
Exactly.
so I think
Mm.
they should keep it different. But of course, they've now launched reels also on Facebook.
Yeah,
So
and it's
yes,
annoying because it's actually forcing us to see it. Oh my god,
yeah, it's like, let it be. Let Facebook be Facebook. Let Instagram be
that's
Instagram. Let
right.
YouTube be YouTube. In fact, YouTube is now also trying the short video route through Instagram, through Shorts, right? The YouTube Shorts.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
So it's like everybody is, jumping in on the bandwagon of this short video content, and trying to get the
And each
pie
one is
and
gaining their traction in their own way because I
in
also
there. Yeah,
observe my YouTube shorts is also gaining traction. You
yeah,
know,
they're pushing
I
it.
don't
Yeah.
have a lot of shorts, but then again, it works to a certain extent.
Yeah, like, see, whenever a platform launches a new product, their algorithms will be designed to push that content, because they
That's right.
want more and more user base, right? So
Yep.
right now, even if you post like a idiotic kind of a short, it'll get some viewership, like,
Yeah,
it doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to do anything. Just create some content and post it and see what it gets you. So yeah, because the algorithm is favoring it right now.
that's very true. That's
Yeah.
very interesting. I think the platform itself, as we actually kind of observe, the fragmentation is definitely happening, and in a more deeper ways. And I believe you're right. Banking on Instagram is one of the angle that we have to look at. So let's get back to the questions that we have prepared for you, Anjali. But before
Sure.
that, right, just in case we did not miss, because like just now, I think Chiwai say hi. I just want to quickly say hi to everyone who's watching this.
Hi.
Yeah, okay. Now Chiwa has been with us for 2 weeks. Okay, now just want to quickly just to for the benefit of everyone who is new watching this thing. Well, this is the Three Marketers show. I forgot to fill that in before, but since we have the intro, I think you know what is that. Now this is what we do for on every Wednesday night. We have been doing this for 77. This is the 77th week. It's not.
Wow,
Yay.
It's
77.
crazy.
Oh,
We are
shit.
episode 77. It's
Awesome.
Right.
So
Scare me, man.
yeah,
What
what
happened?
happened to you, man? So actually, yeah, this happens. Okay, this happens where sometimes Andrew will pop out, say anything, but it's kind of like technical stuff. But well, if you are interested in digital marketing and entrepreneurship, this is what we do. And in fact, we have interviewed a lot of awesome guests like Anjali and Chiwai,
Thank
and a
you.
lot of them, in fact, you can actually go back to my YouTube channel or my Facebook page to look at the previous episodes, and you definitely can learn a lot from all those old videos, because we got so much learning from all the guests that we have on the show. Like Anjali is the second time here. The first one, you have to go and take a look at it, and it's crazy. It's so powerful. All right, now we have some questions prepared for Anjali. And guys, if you have any questions at all, you may actually post your questions in the comment, and I'll bring it up for Anjali to answer them. But I think we want to go on the first question that we have over here, which is like, okay, now how to grow a community on Instagram? Because now I'm just going to change the outlook a little bit so that we can see everybody.
All right, that's good.
Okay, so because the question says at the bottom, you will be blocking someone. Anyway, how do we start? How to grow a community on Instagram? How do we start?
Yeah, so I think to start, before you want to go on Instagram and grow a community, the first thing is you have to have a very clear thinking about why do you want to be on that platform, right? And I think that clarity is super, super important in terms of what is it that why do you need to be on that platform? Who is it that you want to serve? What is the problem that you're going to solve them? And why do you want to build that community? At the end of the day, what are you going to solve for them? Why should they even follow you, right? So once you have these questions very clearly laid out, it's like your Instagram bio has to be your 1 minute elevator pitch. Tell me, why should I follow you, right? And a person has to take that decision when you're building your community on Instagram. And it's all about building followers, right? So you want to gain genuine followers who are interested in what you want to say or what you want to talk about. They will take that decision within a few seconds of landing on your profile, right? So the first thing when you go on Instagram as a platform is you have to have 100% clarity on what's your purpose, right? Why do you, not for fun, but it's not a hobby, right? If you're treating it as a hobby, then that's a different thing. Have fun with it, go enjoy. But if you're treating it as a serious business channel to promote your product or your brand or your business, then you've got to have a very clear purpose about your target audience, the problem that you can solve for them, and giving them a reason to follow you. So that's important. And then so for actually I have a 6 C's success to frame, success 6 C's to success framework that I like
Six
to talk
C's.
about. 6 C's.
Oh, okay.
It's like 6 C's. Okay.
Right.
So the first C is
Oh,
definitely,
sexy.
yeah.
I
Sexy.
know Manfred is gonna come up with that.
Sexy, whatever. Sexy.
Sexy.
Okay, that sounds
Okay. So the first
All right.
okay. Is it me or what? Okay, I think it's we have some echo over here.
Right. What is happening?
Yeah.
I do hear something.
Okay, something is not right. Maybe we can. Okay, it's better now,
Okay, cool. Shall
but
I?
we can't hear you though.
Okay, let me bring my microphone closer. Is this better now?
Yeah, I think. Oh, that's very interesting just now. Sorry guys, some technical glitch happens. Alright, this is what happened. It doesn't
When
matter.
we
Okay.
are live, things
But you
will
want
be.
the sexy Instagram framework? You
I
gotta
know,
wait for it. You
that's-
gotta wait for it. You gotta wait for it.
That's the one. Even your app gets excited already.
Yeah. Even I think Melon app get excited about this thing.
I know, man.
Okay, now we just want to make sure Anjali's voice is clearly heard. Can you maybe
Yeah.
okay? What can we do here is Anjali, maybe we can plug you out and plug in again,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
let's try this. If not, maybe you can go out and come back in again.
Okay, so I should
Or
leave
refresh the
and
page.
join back in.
Okay,
Should I leave and join back in?
you can. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try that. You leave. You come back. Okay. All right. Now
Okay,
don't
we
go
know the
away.
source.
You want the sexy Instagram framework? You don't go away.
I know, man.
That's
Hey,
yeah.
apparently now Instagram they have removed that swipe up thingy, right? It used to be like 10,000. You gotta have some like 10,000
No need
followers.
lah. I mean, not the swipe up, but you can include a link in your post. That one
Oh,
is
now you
very
can
easy.
already lah.
Now I can already. Now we can already.
Oh,
Can you say something?
okay.
Anjali?
Anjuli is back.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Hi.
Perfect. Let me bring you to the center of the stage over here.
Yes.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
There you go. And Manfred,
Thank
you out. Too big, your face.
Manfred, go behind.
I'm trying to concentrate and listen to you.
Oh,
Concentrate
okay.
Yeah,
further
that's
away.
because it's sexy lah.
Not too close to the screen.
I know.
Okay. There you go.
So the
Let's go.
sexy six C's, okay?
I like
So
that.
the first C I said was clarity. You got to be very clear about, why, your purpose, and as you must have heard Simon Sinek says, people don't buy into your what or how. People tend to buy into your why, right?
Okay.
So once you have that clarity, then the next step for you would be your content, and it is out of that clarity that the second C will flow out, which is your content. Right. So once you have a clear picture of your audience and what you can do for them, your content will do the job of connecting with your audience. Right. It will connect. Your audience will connect with your content because your content will resonate with them. Because now you are very clear about why you want to be there. With every post that you create, you are going to give them a reason to follow you. Right. There is some value that you're going to add to their life. And it's all the same value game. You got to give, right? So that's content, the second C. And once you have your content piece sorted out, then it is not just about content. It's got to be about the third C, which is consistency. You got to show up for your folks every day, right? If you want to take your Instagram platform seriously, you got to be showing up on your platform for your folks with your content every day, right? Or if not every day, every other day. If not every other day, every third day, or whatever frequency you set for yourself. But it's got to be consistent. You can't post and ghost. That will not
Anjuli,
get
I
you the
interrupt a
result.
bit. We are the best example. We've been here for 77 times already.
Absolutely. And without the desire for, without looking at, oh, how many likes I got, how many views I got, how many, it doesn't work like that, because you just have to show up consistently, and eventually, gradually, it will build up. It'll definitely build up. So out of consistency, and there are certain systems, you don't have to be on your mobiles 24/7, and that's one myth I really want to bust. Once you have your content system in place, your machine in place, then you don't need to be sitting on your mobile phones all the time. You don't need to be scratching your head every day wondering what to post today, right? Because you have a game plan, you've prepared your calendar, you've decided your content for the next 30 days, you're batch producing your content, you're doing a lot of smart stuff using very smart systems, right? But eventually showing up consistently.
Right.
And I think out of consistency, then the next piece of building community on Instagram and is actually that C, which is community. You've got to engage, right? You've got to engage not just with your followers, but with other star creators in your niche, right? Whatever business niche you're operating in, you got to do your research and find out who are the top creators in that specific niche, right? And then start engaging with them and their followers, their content, right? And when I say engagement, like most of the people I hear, how do they engage? They will like a post, they will leave an emoji or some kind of a fancy emoji, and that's it. That's not engaging meaningfully, right? So if you really want to build your community, you have to meaningfully engage, add to the conversation. Like social media platforms are supposed to be social, right? You've got to be social there. You can't just just keep tapping or liking and scrolling. That means you're not really socializing, you're not interacting, you're not building connections, you're not adding value to the conversation. And I have seen on Instagram some really active communities where people are actively engaging with each other. They're having real conversations. There's you know conversation happening. When somebody comments, somebody counter comments on it, and then there is the whole conversation going. That's what Instagram wants. And once you give Instagram what it wants, it actually wants to work in your favor. The algorithm wants to work for you. It is designed to work for you, right? If you give it what it needs, right? So that's the community piece where you engage. And the best part is, in not only just your own niche, you can find your audiences even in your competitors, right? Because ultimately you're all going after the same target audience, similar target audience. So it's like, you start hanging out there, you start engaging there, and people are going to notice you, because every time you comment, somebody gets a notification, right? Every time you like somebody's Instagram story, it sends a notification, right? So that notification is nothing but Instagram working for you to get noticed by some stranger out there, right? And if that stranger likes your content, he will take 3 or 4 seconds to decide whether to follow you or not, if your content makes sense to them. So that's the community piece. And then the next C, which C are we on now?
Wait. Like first, we have to the
Clarity,
clarity, content,
Clarity,
and
content, community.
consistency, community, and
Now the next
calendar.
piece.
I think this is the fifth one, right? Are we?
Yeah,
Yes.
fifth one.
Yeah.
Fifth one is all about, you know, connecting
Ah.
in person. And that, in fact, the Instagram expert community, the favorite phrase that goes amongst the inner circles is, it's all goes down in the DMs, right?
Mm.
So ultimately, the conversation, real conversation happens inside the DMs, right? And that's where you have to start engaging with people. It's like, in the olden traditional days, people would be made to sit on doing those cold calls, right? Even today I received a cold call selling me some service, some insurance service or something. It's that kind of effort, that kind of outreach that you will need to do in Instagram DMs, right? And again, the DMs, there are so many different ways of connecting with your audience, and Instagram allows for those features. Like, I don't think many people know, but you can, if you are lazy one and if typing a comment takes a lot of time, you can simply just send a voice message. I mean, how much time does it take for you to say, hey, hello there, love looking at your content, and find something specific to praise about their content, and say, ask a meaningful question or two about them. Just speak, right?
Wow.
And you want to make it a little bit more personalized, you can just record a video. Just hit the video button, record yourself speaking something, get rid of your fears of facing a camera. Connect like you would to another human being. That's it. Like you're talking to another person, and imagine that person to be a real person. And how you would meet, like you go to a networking event, right? You say, hi, hello, I'm so and so. You don't start selling your product right away, right? You just
True.
introduce yourself, you just ask a few meaningful questions to get the conversation going. Like, hey, what do you do? Like, what are you interested in? What's exciting in your life? What are your top challenges? Ask away those questions, right? And send a video message, send an audio message. Don't have to type, don't have to automate. And I hate automation in these matters. I hate automation, like, because it can kill, people can perceive, their bullshit meter of people is so high that they can smell from a distance that this is just automated copy pasted comment, right? So you got to be a little careful about how you use automation. While I champion automation a lot to reduce the workload, I also say that combine it with human interaction. You've got to be there yourself as well. So block time for really engaging with your people. And that's what conversation and connection is all about. And
Right.
once you get those communications going, like I think I was talking to Andrew the other day, when I invited him on my podcast show, and he had a wonderful phrase which I really loved. And I think I'm going to make it like a tagline, and I think it is a tagline, which Andrew said, you promote in public, but you sell in private, right? So you might do your promotion part of it on public and go and talk about all your great stuff and how awesome you are in public. But ultimately, selling will happen in those private conversations. That is one-on-one conversation that will take place inside of the DM ecosystem when it comes to the Instagram platform, right? And the best part is, Instagram stories. If somebody likes your story, Instagram allows you to start with them a DM conversation straight away from there.
Wow.
How many platforms allow you to connect with your audiences in a one-on-one way like that? Not many, right? So you can actually send a direct message to the person who engaged with your story straight away and start a conversation right there. So it's
Yep.
a very, very powerful uh, tool to
Apparently,
use.
LinkedIn is also rolling that out within the comment section. There's another button that allows you to DM the person directly.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
that would be so awesome to try, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Otherwise, you have to go to the profile and then DM the person
yeah,
separately and all those things.
and then
I've not
email
seen it
and
yet.
all of that.
Correct. Yeah. They're rolling out in Europe already, so probably another week or so.
And I didn't
Awesome.
remember wrongly. I think DM cannot advertise. DM is purely for organic purposes,
Yeah,
advertisement
yeah,
cannot.
yeah. It is to have that private conversation.
Private
So
conversation.
What do you mean
yep,
DM cannot advertise?
you
Cannot,
don't
right?
advertise DM.
There's no
What do
ad,
you mean?
ad option for DM in IG.
No. That is
Oh,
spamming already.
okay. You can
Yeah,
actually start messaging. You can get people to start DM you, lah. I mean, that's one
yeah,
angle. But you
yeah.
can't do DM. I mean, usually it's not. Even Facebook sponsored message also, it's not a very commonly used feature.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
can't
because they're so.
spam. You can't spam people. Facebook will
Very
not
Yes.
true.
allow that. In fact, Facebook
Yeah.
has a 24-hour interaction rule put in place now. So even if you've sent a sponsored message, which now Facebook is allowing for automated messages to be sent, if the other person has not interacted with that message prompt for the next 24 hours, you cannot send them another automated message.
Yeah, 24 plus 1.
24 plus 1, right? So
Mm.
Yeah.
that's
Messenger.
that's the rule in place in Messenger. And likewise in Instagram and even in WhatsApp, they're even more strict, because WhatsApp, they're guarding like really from marketers spamming people. so
True.
Mm.
so they will not allow for that. So
Yeah.
for
So
sure,
now,
it's not a channel for advertising or broadcasting. It's definitely a channel for making those deeper connections. And so it comes, later in life, later in your journey, when you've already built the awareness, you've already built a consistent, through your consistent content, a sizable engaged community. And that's when you start talking to people in Instagram DMs.
so I can actually kind of like, let me recap, yeah, Anjali. Now we
Sure.
have 6 C's, right? The
The
first one is
final I
search.
have not talked
Oh,
about. The
oh, yeah,
Let's
you
last,
talk
haven't.
about it. Yes, one
Sorry,
yeah,
more
sorry,
to go.
sorry.
the
Sorry for
last is
interrupting.
the last is conversion. Last is because we are all in it for the money, right? We want to make money at the end of the day. So
Oh yes.
conversion, that's the conversion piece. And for that, you have to have your funnel set up properly, the back end, right? Because you just provide a link, and then the rest of the magic happens after the person hits the link, right? So
Yes.
where you take them to a page where your payment gateway is set, and all your funnel is set up. So that's the behind the scenes piece. And for that, you have to be prepared. Like once you've brought people into this thing, and when they're ready to buy from you, got to make it friction free for them, right? So that's
Mm.
that's the piece which works behind the scene. And there are, the marketing jargon, they say that you got to agitate a problem, you got to there are several systems that we follow.
Yep.
Pose a problem, agitate it, and then provide a solution, and then lead them to that buy button. So you
Yes.
use all of those, and stories again are a great place for doing that kind of activity, where now Instagram earlier had a limit where only people with 10,000 plus followers were allowed to include a swipe up link, right?
We were talking
But
about that. Yeah.
yeah, but now recently Instagram is allowing anybody to add a link.
Right.
That
That's
A
true.
link,
10,000,
but the swipe up is not for everyone, right? Only the link you
correct.
can embed.
Yeah,
No.
but swipe up served that purpose, Jason, right? Once you swipe
Yeah.
up,
Yeah,
it had a link and it could take people to that,
yeah.
Correct.
that page. But now you have a link sticker,
Yes, that's
right?
true.
So that's like a direct channel for your whatever sales channel you have set up. You just have
Mm.
to ask people to click that link, and then your sales pages or your funnel setup should do the job.
That's true.
Yep.
That's true.
So it's actually making it really easy for you to use that platform effectively for the final C, which is conversion as well.
Okay.
Awesome, awesome. That's a very good 6 C's. You know, the
Yeah,
sexy 6 C's, right? But
sexy.
I
Oh,
want
it's
to bring this up,
definitely.
Anjali, because you just now at the backstage we did talk about you have an Instagram free Instagram course.
Yes,
Oh,
I
Yeah,
do.
yes.
I do.
can we talk about that?
Let me send you the link for
We
that
already
because
have the link.
okay.
I already bring it up over here, and I will post the link into the comment as well. But can we talk about it? Can you talk about it? Maybe we
Yeah,
understand what is that.
so here, so when I created that paid course, it's like a 60 plus video lessons comprehensive deep dive course, right? And which will cover these 6 C's in depth, right? So like I've just scratched the surface, and that's what is possible in a conversation like this, right? But
Yep.
if you really want to take a deep dive, then there are two ways of doing it. So first is, I made the first two modules which are foundational for any business, for any platform, whether you are doing Instagram or any other platform. You got to have clarity about your target audience. You got to have clarity about your purpose. So the first two modules, I've sort of made it free for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and I've given you a sort of a teaser into what you can get from the rest of the modules if you decide to take a deep dive, and that is the paid course. So the free course will set you up for success with the foundations in place, and then when you want to really up your game, that's when you are ready for the paid course. uh,
Awesome. Awesome. I already
yeah,
put the link, guys. If you are watching this already, it's already available on my Facebook page as well as on my YouTube channel. You can
yeah,
click on
And
the
it's
link
also
and
on
go over and
LinkedIn.
take a look. Okay. And Andrew just shared it on LinkedIn as well.
yeah.
And basically, what we're going to do here is if you're watching the replay, the link is already at the bottom over here. It takes a little bit of typing. Make sure when it's capital A and capital G, you got to make it capital as well, because this is the bit.ly link. Everything is it's sensitive. Now, I want
Oh,
to bring
okay.
us to the next question over here, Anjali, because you.
Before Jason, before you do that, I just
Sure,
want to have
sure.
two observations. Going through Anjali's 6C and the way showing up on Instagram. Okay, this is coming from a guy who is a latecomer to social media. When you look at the way the platform is set up, and when Anjali was talking about showing up, you notice that from a sociology kind of perspective, human psychology perspective, is they force people because of the platform to continue to show up, to post content. Is everybody gets on the hamster wheel. You have a choice, obviously, whether to get on. But if you get on, then you have to, like Anjali said, you have to show up every day. You're going to post every day. You're going to engage with people. And the moment you drop off, and eventually the algorithm will not favor you and all those things. So it's like once you get on, you really can't get off already. That's one thing. But I guess if you want free traffic, that's the only way to do it. And the other option is, like what me and Jason like to do is we just run ads, but it's time against money. Then the second thing is this: when she mentioned about networking, if you look at the real world, in order for you to know more people or more people to know you, you have to attend networking events, right? And that is similar to going on to social media. Then the second thing is then you meet with a bunch of people, you share your cards, name cards, and then they share theirs, and then you have some brief conversation. Eventually, out of let's say 1,000 people, you probably have like one, two people that you seem to connect well, and you then have that private conversation with the person. That's where the DM situation comes in, and the person has shown an interest, and then you somehow strike that conversation, whatever you are doing, and seems to fit that person's need or something like that, and you have that private conversation. What happens is you then say, okay, let's have another meeting, let's do another appointment, let's have coffee, and all those things. And that's where the DM function takes over that physical interaction, where you then continue to interact to the point that eventually there could be a business opportunity.
That's true.
So the social media is no different from your physical. To the way I look at it, only difference is you can do it at scale now.
That's
I
great.
mean, those days, if you want to attend events, there's only so many events you can do. And it's only physical. That means if you're in Singapore, you can only meet people in Singapore. But now when you do social media, you technically can connect with somebody all the way around the world, and without having to travel.
And 24/7, it works
And it's
around the clock for
24/7.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
Yeah, Manfred.
undeniably.
Yeah,
Manfred.
I just want to jump in.
Sure.
Andrew, I've been doing that, but I'm doing it on LinkedIn. So you see, I just every day find 10 recruiters, talent acquisition people, just craft a message. You only have 300 characters. Try to be specific lah, okay, and address your intention and want to connect with them. Of course, I admit on lousy days, all 10 message all gone, all nobody, all pending, nobody want. But on good
Correct.
days, the message is works, you connect with people. And the best part is you can go beyond Singapore. You can go, of course, Singapore already has a lot of HR people already. Of course, and for HR people in LinkedIn, is normally they will respond to you. I even try on coaches also, career coaches, and it works also. So I'm just gradually increasing the reach itself.
Mm.
I want to add something here. Like, there's something called the mere exposure effect, right? It's a psychologically proven, scientifically proven thing that people tend to do business with people whom they know, like, and trust. We've heard that enough number of times, right? So the mere exposure
Looks
effect,
alike.
what it says is familiarity. Like,
Yeah.
we see film stars because we have seen them so much, we tend to feel as if we know them, right? There is a familiarity that sits in, hey, I think I've seen that person somewhere. So
Very true.
because you're consistently showing up on social media channels, people tend to feel, I know this person, right? And that's when the familiarity sets in, and they want to be able to connect with you. You become more approachable. People want to do business with you, and they're like, yeah, I've seen her somewhere. She's that kind of thing. So that is one thing. And the second thing, what's very interesting that I have actually experienced in my own time on social media, and I've been on social media for a long time, since I think 2009 I've been writing content. Uh, and that is, people have a behavior called a lurking behavior, right? So they will not comment on your post, they will not show any kind of engagement, but believe you me, they are watching you, they're observing you, they're all the time looking at your content. Like, I remember I sent one email once, to my email list, and I just mentioned something about the passing away of my dad. Okay, because I had lost my father very recently, and I just happened to mention that these are the life lessons that I've learned from being his daughter. These are the three things that I've learned. You won't believe it that people actually responded to me in person to that message, whom I had not, and this is a ESP message. It's going from a Mailchimp to my entire email list, and there were people who connected with me, whom I hadn't touched base with since 2010, right? And they responded to me, they got back to me. So it's like they've been watching. I was like, I didn't know that you've been reading my newsletters. And I've been sending these since 2010. And they were like, you'll be surprised how many people watch your read your newsletters silently and they derive value from it. And I give you one more example. So I wrote a post on LinkedIn about something, and I don't know, many years later, some person reached out to me saying, hey, I read your post on LinkedIn and it was super insightful. And we've been, looking for a vendor to work with. Would you be interested in working with us? Somebody read my post on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and they reached out to me. And this is from Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay. Somebody from
Ooh.
Utah reached out to me, and it actually converted into a consulting assignment. Would you believe that? Just by, and
Awesome.
I had no idea. I'm sitting here
LinkedIn,
in, yeah, on LinkedIn.
of
On
all
LinkedIn.
places, LinkedIn. That's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah. And they read my post, they found it insightful, and it was there in the top of their mind. So people are observing you, people are watching you. And when the need arises, who do we turn to? We turn to the first person that comes to our mind, right? Who seems to be the expert, who seems to have the answers to your problems. So I think it definitely works.
So Jason,
Definitely.
your theory of flooding the email box and make sure that every day there's a Jason inside the email box works.
They
It
can't
works.
Actually,
forget.
it's true.
They can't forget that, man.
I know it's true because recently I had a consult call, and this guy says, uh, he can literally, mention some of the key. He's part of the list, my newsletter list, and some of the things that I've posted and all things I even forgot about it, because normally I just post and forget about it. And when I check his data on ESP, uh, he has never clicked on anything, but normally it's open. So, and but it's like irregular open, and he can mention stuff like 4 months ago, 5 months ago, and all things. And you're right, because they see your email, especially email is concerned. They may take action, they may not, or they don't reply. And to me is, and I'm now seriously considering, because I'm notorious for unsubscribing people who have not interacted with me for the last 45 days, and I'm considering whether that is a sound method, or is there a better metrics to measure, as long as the email lands into their inbox, if they open, and how frequent is the open rate and all those things, as opposed to recency.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. They somehow, once you appear, show up long enough, they kind of, people kind of have that familiarity with you, and there's no necessary that it's not necessary that they're going to buy within the next 30, 60 days. They may come back after 9 months.
Or a
Oh,
year, or maybe 2 years.
Yeah, I just got somebody actually, came back and took up a coaching program with us. They said that
Yeah.
they've been watching me for a year plus.
It's a
And I was
long-term
like,
game. I realize now, that if you want to do any business on the internet, yeah, you may run ads and you may get some immediate response, but the real business actually is a long-term game. You got to stay in it for at least a year to 2 years. You don't know, because people's needs, timing are different.
In fact, everyone in business, we are in for the long game. We don't want to run a business for a year or two and close it down, right?
Yeah. No, but we always
That's
have
the
this
whole
tendency,
idea.
you see. When we run an offer, and then the offer take-up rate is low, we say, okay, shit, maybe the offer is wrong. But it may not necessarily be the offer is wrong. It could
Maybe
be
the
wrong
timing.
timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be the wrong way of pitching it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like recently I was just doing my, just a bit of sharing, because I just completed my new program, which is a program that teaches people how to create lead magnets. Because to a lot of people, right, okay, when it comes to the idea of lead magnet, they're always thinking about, whenever I launch a new lead magnet, I have to sell something new. Every new lead magnet must have the same offer. But you know what is my method? In fact, I just realized when I was doing the course, in fact, my lead magnets are my ways of selling my core offer. Does it ring a bell? I can have 10 lead magnets. It's just 10 different ways of pitching.
Yep.
You do not know which one hits people.
Right. What hits them in their moment of need, right? It's
Correct. Because when you're selling
yeah.
any product, right, here's my angle of looking at this thing. Your product, if you're selling a product or a service, you must have multiple USPs.
Yeah.
And people will come in because of different USPs. But if you are not able to highlight each and every one of the USPs, right, you may not be able to hit them.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
when you think of lead magnets, that's how I create lead magnets like crazy. That's why I'm famous for craziness in creating lead magnets. Past 2 years, in a way, less than 2 years, I've created more than 20 over lead magnets that is making me money at the moment. And in a way, right, to be frank, then I look back at all these things when I connect the dots together, it's just different ways of selling the same thing.
Yeah.
So when you break out from that thing, in fact, it will take so much of your burden and your so-called, the stress away when you have some lead magnets or so-called your webinars and all that does not convert. Well, you just found a maybe not so effective way of selling this product. Let's do another one. So in fact, that is in a way that's the mindset that keeps me going,
Yep.
Yeah, in fact, there's a nice quotation which is coming to my mind. It's like, for an entrepreneur, it's not that you have failed. It's just that you've learned 10,000 ways of not doing something, right?
Thomas Edison.
So it's like that, right? Thomas Edison, right? Correct. Thank you for adding that. So it's basically iterating. It's learning. Like with this, I was talking to you, before I entered the room about the Facebook ad campaign that bombed. Now what is it? It's something that's a lesson for me. Like it now I know what does not work, right? So I think that's the attitude we all people
Yeah.
who are trying to do a business or an entrepreneur, kind of a life. It's just that there is no failure. It's just learning all the way. It's only
Yep.
There was
learning.
two, yeah, there was two studies I shared in my newsletter this week. Is from the Ehrenberg Bass Institute.
Hmm.
Two key things that actually struck me was at any one time, there is only 5% of the buyers in market and 95% of the buyers are out of market. Okay. In market means they are in the market looking for a solution or intending to
Intentional.
buy
Yeah.
something. And 95% of them, and this is for B2B initially when they did this study, and 95% of them are not in the market to buy something. So what they are trying to say, and it is the same apparently with B2C as well, is you buy a car, you probably change the car like 5, 6, 7 years. It doesn't mean that you're going to buy the next year once you get your new car, you see. So what they're saying is you got to do the long game in the sense that instead of just targeting or chasing the 5%, which you should, but you're competing against everybody else, your ad campaign must be stretched longer to target the 95%.
Absolutely.
And instead of being very narrow targeting, like when we run Facebook ad, we want to like the exact interest, we want to be the exact location and age and all those stuff. They are suggesting that you should go broad
Broad, yeah,
because
absolutely. In fact,
yeah,
this is exactly the advice that Facebook rockstar that I was speaking to today morning. He gave me this same advice,
yep,
um, that go broad because Facebook already knows the intent of the people. Facebook has that data. Google has
yep,
that data, their
yep,
behavior, what kind of things they look at, how much time they
yep,
spend. Google and Facebook have millions of data points about the users.
yep,
So just let the machine do its job, and just let it do the job. That
yeah,
don't meddle with it too much. That's the
true,
advice that I was given. Don't try too much
yeah.
of hacky stuff and all.
Yeah,
So
you got to show some patience with Facebook ads now that I realize
yeah,
it doesn't happen like just like that. The other thing that I want to share is brand awareness. And Jason touched upon when he talked about the lead magnet thingy. There is a difference between, there's a concept, a law called basically the mental availability and physical availability versus brand awareness. Now, brand awareness, if I would ask you, let's say, have you heard of McDonald's? I
Mhm.
can pretty much all of us in this group or attending or watching this will say yes.
Yep.
That is called brand awareness.
Right.
Now the next thing is if I were to ask you the next question is if you want to take your kids for a quick meal, what restaurant will come to mind?
Quick meal. I don't have
quick
kids. I
name,
don't answer this question.
McDonald's.
Okay. So Anjali, by virtue of you saying that, that means McDonald's has achieved the mental availability. That means when it comes to a specific need, you recall that brand.
Yeah.
So if I say, have you heard of McDonald's? Yes, everybody will have heard of McDonald's. But when you want a specific thing, for example, like Starbucks, everybody knows Starbucks. But if I say, if I want to have a quiet place, a cozy place to have a conversation with somebody on business or something, which cafe should I go to?
Starbucks.
If you mention Starbucks, then they have achieved the mental availability. Next thing is the physical availability means, is there a Starbucks nearby? Or do I have to travel 30 kilometers to do it? If I have to travel so far to do it, I may not want to go there.
Very true.
So, same thing like link magnets, and Apple has done that because recently they ran an ad promoting one single item on Apple Watch. It is the emergency SOS component,
Yep. I
right?
saw that.
And it is very targeted because it focuses on that one feature and not Apple Watch. If same thing, if you're talking about brand awareness, have you heard about Apple Watch? Everybody knows. But do you know that Apple Watch can do this, this, this? And by virtue of breaking it up, they now basically addressing a specific solution need so that at any one time, if you have, let's say now, if you want to look for a watch with some security or some additional support and all those things. Now you know that there's this feature. And by virtue of covering that little space, Apple Watch will have an advantage over everybody else who didn't bother to even mention it. And that becomes your content. Imagine you have a product has 20 features, you have 20 content because you actually break down to every single one. And like what Jason did, one of them, and in the core offer is the same, is buy the same stuff. But because I mentioned one feature that make a sense with Anjuli, for example, and the other feature makes sense with Manfred because from where they come from, they would still buy the same product.
I think that ties very well to the point Jason just made, that I have multiple lead magnets and might be leading to the same core offer at the end of the day.
Yes.
But it's just that you're connecting with the user in their different moment of need, right? So,
Absolutely.
and that's what is called the moments of need, right? So you've got to catch them, different places, wherever they are, whatever it is that they are doing, and catch them in their moment of need, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe this time I was searching for how can I get my Facebook group to get more active, and there my ebook came, right? 50 ways to boost your Facebook group engagement. That person will use that lead magnet, but ultimately it may come back to my core offer, whatever it is that I'm offering, right? But I
Absolutely.
addressed them in their moment of need with that specific lead magnet, right? And it may just link to my core offer. It may just link to that. And I also provide social media services, and I also run Facebook ads for you, whatever it is that you do, right?
Yep.
That's why that's the reason why I think for a lot of people who kind of like when you're building your journey or in a way, I mean, this gets a little bit entrepreneurship, a little bit. We digress. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
yeah,
okay.
I think this is a very good discussion as all of us kind of like share our own. But yet again, I think we would link back to the 6 C's, the sexy 6 C's that Anjali mentioned just now, which is about if you want to start building all this community and getting people to raise hand to whatever that you have got to say, you don't expect people to come to you and immediately the first time they see your post and I mean, in my opinion, I don't really believe in love at first sight on social media. People do observe, and what you want to really kind of like achieve is when people observe you, you kind of like present yourself in different way, and eventually you get these people to take action and do whatever. But
Yeah,
you have to be
absolutely.
consistency,
Absolutely.
and then you have
Yep.
to find different way. That's why when it comes to, I think this applies to everywhere. Like some Manfred was just sharing about Instagram, and Andrew was saying Instagram, and Anjali talks about Instagram, LinkedIn by Manfred and all that. I think this applies to all. But then again, I think we want to lead us to the next question, but we are 5 minutes down. Anyway, I want a quick ask. We are 5 minutes. We are
That's
like
okay.
already 50. So I think Anjali, you have to come back one more time. For
Okay,
sure.
sure.
Like because
Part two.
we have about 64 questions listed by Manfred over here. Now we are going to the second one. Now we are going to the second question.
Okay, sure. Go ahead. Shoot.
Right. So now,
And you still have people saying that they want the show to be shorter.
yeah, and
And I need to take a queue number to say my piece also.
because just now we were talking about growing the community, but I think this topic tonight is about influence.
Influence mostly.
So how do you gain influence on Instagram? What is your take? I mean, okay, I'm gonna give you about 5 minutes. Let's try.
I think I'll circle back to my 6 C's. You do the 6 C's right, you will gain influence, right? Uh, so I think it applies even to gaining influence. And by most of the time, people tend to feel, when you search, you do one Google search on Instagram, the number one question that people are asking, how do I grow my followers? They're like obsessed with follower growth.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's like just a vanity metric, okay?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with bogus followers who are not going to buy from you, who are not going to be interested in you, interested in what you have to offer? So just accumulating followers like I am now, reminded of Seth Godin. I'm sure you've heard of him, right? Seth Godin is the king of marketing. He writes a blog every day. Okay, he writes a
Yeah.
blog piece every day, and that's how he became this famous guy. I even have his book sitting on my bookshelf right there. So what this guy says is that what you need is a minimum viable market, right? Because you can't go so broad that you can't be relevant to everyone and everybody, right? But
Absolutely.
you can't be so narrow that you don't have sufficient market to convert, right? So all you need is a minimum viable market. So even if you have 1000 followers on Instagram, but they are genuine followers who are really taking away value from you, you convert even 10 of them and convince them to pay $100 a month, you got a decent income going,
That's
right? So
true.
it really does not, and that opened my eyes, and that's when I started touting in my course that I teach. I never talk about vanity metrics. You don't have to go after the number of followers. It's an obsession. It's an unhealthy obsession. It will only make you feel anxious. You will like lose your sleep. You will start seeing every post, nobody liked my post and nobody engaged with it. It's not that. You don't need to do that, right? So have 1000 followers, 500 followers, but have them genuinely engage with you, genuinely believe in what you got to bring to the table. And even if you can convert one, you have achieved victory, you have achieved success, because you made a difference to that person's life, and that one person then will speak well about you to the other person, and that's how it will grow, right? There is no quick, like people just say I'll have so many followers and then brands will reach out to me and I'll make this mega bucks. It just doesn't. There is no shortcut to success. You've got to put in the hard work. You've got to put in
I
the
think,
effort.
yeah, and think I mentioned this to Jason one day. You know, we know that a lot of people wants to get their post to go viral and all those things.
Viral, yeah, man. The
Yeah.
word, oh my god.
So the question is this: what if tomorrow you make a post and it goes viral with 1 billion visitors liking your post and trying to find out more about you, right? You go viral, you have gone viral. 1 billion visitors, I give it to you now. The question is, what do you have to sell? What do you have to follow up? And what are you going to
Exactly.
do with this 1 billion followers?
The product
True.
market fit may not be matching also.
Yeah.
And another
So-
angle of looking at virality is like Manfred watched so many Thai viral TV ads and all that, right? You bought anything from them?
That's
Okay,
true.
I have another point on virality,
Yeah.
and that says the world's best astrologers could not predict a COVID-19, right?
Okay.
Nobody in the world saw it coming, right?
Absolutely.
There is no way that anybody can predict virality. I am telling you, one of the most bogus posts on my Instagram account has gone viral. It's crazy. Like it's just some food post that I created and some smoke coming out of that chocolate. Okay, sizzler, chocolate sizzler. The bugger, that post gets crazy viral. What the heck is happening? So there is no way you can predict virality.
That's
It's
very
Absolutely.
true. That's very
and
true.
so ultimately you can get lucky if something goes viral. It's just pure your stars aligning, or we don't know. We
We
cannot
don't
tell.
know.
But there are
Yeah.
certain patterns. Once you see a lot of the viral content, there are certain patterns you see, right? That it has a hook, it is engaging, it is short, it is there are a lot of these things, but that is hindsight. That is smartness applied in hindsight, in my opinion. We analyze a lot of these posts which have gone viral, and then we try to see patterns. But really, there is nothing to predict virality.
That's very true.
And that ties into Jason's YouTube technique, or basically framework, is once you put it up and you look at what are the videos that resonate with people. Do they comment? Forget about like, do they comment? Do they ask questions and all those things? And if that particular content or video has a lot of resonate with your audience, okay, forget about virality because that is just a pie in the sky. But the moment it resonates with your audience, that's where you then know that I should be putting up more content of similar nature because it is serving the audience.
True.
That should be the way, as opposed to trying to post and hope that, oh, okay, tomorrow I want to be as famous as Psy. I want to be Gangnam Style. When you have
Yeah.
nothing to offer, even if you get Gangnam Style, you ain't going to do much.
True. True.
Yeah.
That's very true. Well, that's a very nice chat with Anjuli learning about Instagram influence. And remember, guys, stay tuned. We definitely will get Anjuli back because she's only scratching the surface.
We only
I
cover
say
one
60
C.
over questions, we only cover 2 questions. Oh my God. But
Yeah,
hey,
we
before
must.
we go, I think it's very important that I want to bring it up over here. Just in case you missed the so-called the link just now, you can go over to
Free
this
Instagram course.
link. Yeah, because Anjali has a free Instagram course to teach you about the 6 Cs, of course, and on top of that, she'll offer you the next step that you can take if you want to level up. But of course, this is the person that you want to talk to because I have been observing her Instagram. I don't comment much because I'm actually kind of like a person who just look at things.
He's a lurker.
Yeah, I'm a
Lurker.
lurker, 100%. But you see, I have another account that I get very active. But then again, that's another account. Anyway,
Oh my
so
goodness.
this is how we do things. But then again, this is where you will learn, Anjali's technique. Go over to this link. And thank you so much for joining us tonight, Anjali. Manfred, you still want to do your
Very
website of the
fast
week?
one.
Okay, let's do a
Yep.
quick one. Okay, Manfred.
We haven't
as
say
usual-
hi to some of the audience. We've got Boon, we've got
Oh,
Chiwai, we've got
wait.
Jimmy Cheong.
Let's
Hi,
see.
everybody.
We have
Yeah,
Bone.
we were so
Hello,
engrossed with the four of
everyone.
us.
Yeah, we just have so much fun, right? Boone say KFC. Boone was
Absolutely.
on YouTube. Okay, yeah. And I'm not sure whether she's still there, he or she, And Chiwai say not enough. And Chimmy, what's up? Okay,
Hi.
Jimmy's joining us. Always
Hi, Jimmy.
late, lah, Jimmy. We're ending soon already, Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy.
Jimmy. Okay,
He's
now
a different time zone, isn't it? 10 o'clock Malaysia time, and he's like
but-
10 o'clock, whatever
I
time it
don't
is.
know. He's from Malaysia, though.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay.
okay, so that's Manfred's website of the week. Let me bring this in.
Okay, this one
Oh, that's a
is
nice
Hunter,
thing you guys have added. I like this.
yeah, hunter.io. Basically,
Wow.
if you do link
Cold
building,
email.
yeah, or cold email, you need to find out email address. You can use this, and there's actually a Chrome extension also you can install.
Good.
Okay, you can create an account and put it in. So basically, it is useful because a lot of, in terms of SEO, you need to find the right people to connect with you. But of course, when you cold reach them, you definitely have to find the email address. So this is one way. So I think you all can play with it. The URL again is hunter.io.
I'm
Okay,
putting this into the
so I stop sharing.
link over here. I'm putting it into the
Hunter.io.
command. It's hunter.io.
Yep.
Okay, now it's already in there. And it's Boon, Chin Boon. Hi, Chin Boon from my YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in.
Hi.
And Jimmy said, wow, not only free. Oh, yeah, accompany kids sleep.
Yeah, I gotta,
Put your kids
I may know
to
this
bed first.
Chinbun gentleman.
Chin Boon, you know,
Wow.
let's see. I don't know why, but I can't see the face over here.
I don't know, man.
I don't know,
it's
man.
Not his real
I-
face.
I don't know how to click into that and see it over there. But anyway, hi.
Small world.
Thank you for joining us. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now I think that pretty much wraps the episode tonight. Okay. We
Okay.
learned so much from Anjali, and she's gonna come back one day.
Thank
remember,
you.
guys,
Thank you, guys. I hope I was able to add some value there.
Definitely awesome value, and we really loved the chat just now. We learned so much from you. The sexy, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to
so,
stick to that. If somebody says how to grow your influence on Instagram, I say, look at Anjuli Sexy.
Sexy.
Yes.
sexy. So, right,
Sexy
sexy.
60s.
Do come back to continue your sexy story.
So we will come back very soon. And but remember, if you're watching this and if you're watched up to now, thank you so much. And we do this every Wednesday night. It's already on the 77 week. We're closing, very inching to the 100 episodes very
100.
soon.
Yeah, we should
You know,
celebrate that.
We have to celebrate, but I have no idea how. But anyway, it's really an honor to have Anjali back with us. And thank you so much for all the sharing.
Thank you. It's a privilege.
Yep.
It's a privilege
And-
to be here.
Yes, definitely. We will have you back again. We can't wait for anyone. So we'll come back. Can't wait for that one again. So guys, remember we do this every Wednesday night. If you like what we do, go back to watch the previous episodes. You can. And we do this every Wednesday. Come back and join us on the next Wednesdays to come. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I think that's it. And we will see you next week. Thank you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.